foot section, head section, high-low rod sections, motor and hand pendant, caster set, head end, foot end. Place the head and foot sections on their sides at approximately right angles to each other with motor cams up. Elevate the sleeping surfaces slightly to balance each frame. Take note, when balancing the foot section, do not over-elevate the knee section too high, or the linkage may overextend and bind. Slide the head and foot sections together until the foot section's hook fully engages with the head section's rivet on both sides. Rotate the head frame to straighten and align the frames. Elevate the head sleeping surface to balance. Remove the motor side caps and expose the motor cavity. The motor plungers should be recessed in the cavity. Take note, if the plunger is exposed and visible, plug in the motor and operate the down function on the pendant hand control for head and/or knees to recess the plungers. In case of a power failure, the head and foot can be lowered with a 9-volt battery, which is not included. Install the battery at this time. The harness and holder for the battery are located between the motor protrusions should be facing up. Remember that the cams must also be in the up position. Position the motor over the welded motor cam. Using the palm of your hand, hit the head-end motor casing with enough force to snap the motors square over the tube, and repeat for the foot end. Now reinstall the motor slide caps. Sliding upward, apply pressure while aligning and slotting the tab grooves to ensure all 4 corners are engaged. Both motor caps must be in place and secured before operating the bed motor. If you are assembling a full electric bed, you have 2 socket options to position the casters. Use the outside sockets for a conventional height bed or for transport, and use the inside sockets for a low bed. The caster set comes with 2 locking casters and 2 non-locking casters. Install the casters by pushing or tapping them into the bed end leg sockets. Each end will have 1 locking and 1 non-locking caster. The locking casters should be positioned diagonally from each other when placed on the bed. To install the bed end to the bed, lift the head frame, not the grid sleep surface, and position the end hooks to engage the bed rivets. Straighten the bed end and ensure the rivets are seated in the hooks. Complete the same process for the foot section. The universal high-low rod consists of an inner tube that contains a button and 2 adjustment holes, and an outer tube with 7 adjustment holes. To assemble the outer and inner tube, Semi-Electrics used the 3rd hole. The page now ready to install the high-low rod. Both ends of the high-low rod assembly have a slot to mount onto the foot end and head end gearbox pins. The rod is spring-loaded. Attach either end of the spring-loaded tube to the footbed end shaft for Semi-Electric. Compress the high-low rod to engage the head gearbox shaft. If the notch doesn't line up with the shaft roll pin, merely crank the bed or operate the high-low motor until it snaps into place. Attach the other end of the high-low rod assembly to the head-end gearbox. Your is now assembled. Consult user manual for proper placement. Only home care bed rails to ensure safe operation. Foot section, head section, high-low rod sections, motor and hand pendant, caster set, head end, foot end. Place the head and foot sections on their sides at approximately right angles to each other with motor cams up.